Hello everyone. On this lecture, we are going to discuss the difference between propositional logic and predicate logic. Let us first discuss the difference between proposition and predicate. Proposition in propositional logic is a simple statement that is represented by symbol. So it takes a truth value, either true or false. When we use multiple statements, so we apply true or false value to the symbol to derive the conclusion. So a proposition is nothing but a simple sentence or a statement that takes a truth value, either true or false. Whereas the predicate is a statement. It is representing the um, property of a particular object. For example, if the outlook is sunny, then uh, the is sunny denotes the predicate, and the outlook is used as an argument. So we will separate the subject and the predicate in first order logic. So a predicate is uh, represented separately in a statement, while we write a predicate logic statement. So it takes either a value or a variable as an argument. So if we use variables, then the value assigned to a variable determines the truthness of the predicate. Now let us discuss the difference between propositional logic and predicate logic. So we usually use symbol or letters to denote sentence. We apply logical connectives like and, or, not, implication, bidirectional arrow to formulate logical statements. So we usually write declarative statements that takes the truth value, either true or false. If you are negating the statements, then we use negation symbol for that. For conjunction, we use and operator. For disjunction, we use or operator. For conditional, we use implication symbol, if then else form. And then for biconditional, we use both the arrows, forward and backward arrow. It does not generalize the statement, or it does not specialize a statement, because we are not using quantifier for all, or there exists some to denote the number of objects involved in the relationship. So the propositional logic does not use number of entities. That is one of the difference between first order logic and propositional logic. In predicate logic, we will be using the quantifiers. So this propositional logic is also known as Boolean logic. So we use this propositional logic to analyze sentences for deriving a conclusion. So in simple term, we can say the first difference is we use a symbolic representation. We use symbols to denote the statements. Each statement takes true or either true or false value. It does not use properties of the object, and it does not use number of entities or quantifiers like for all x or there exists x, something like that. For example, let us consider these two sentences. If the basket player is ready, then the player plays a basketball match. If the outlook is sunny or cloudy, let's say, then rain starts. So these two sentences can be represented by using implication. If P, then Q. So P denotes the left hand side, the basket player is ready. If that is true, then the right hand side, Q, the player plays the match. That is true. Similarly, in the second sentence, the outlook is cloudy is represented by P, and Q denotes rain starts. So we establish this connection by using implication symbol. what are the limitations of propositional logic? We usually use only symbols to denote the sentence in the real world. So that means we ignore the important properties of object and scope of objects, which gives meaning when we try to derive logical conclusion or when we try to make inference from the given sentences. And propositional logic does not symbolize subject and predicate separately. For example, the sentence Socrates is a man will be represented by yes, the symbol yes. So we don't symbolize the predicate and subject. The subject in this sentence is Socrates and the predicate is a man. So in predicate logic, we symbolize these two things. So we symbolize the subject is Socrates and the predicate is man. So man of Socrates, like this we will express this sentence. The predicate logic is mainly used to analyze the scope of the subject over the predicate. We can represent complex sentences which involves entities and relations, functions over the objects, and we use for all quantifier, universal quantifier, to express the number of objects as all objects involved in the particular relationship or in the particular task. Then we sometimes use direct this symbol to denote that only some objects of the universe is used in the relationship or in the task. So we can create a more generalized representation or a specialized representation by utilizing this quantifier. This predicate logic is also known as first order logic. As I already told you, we use properties of an object. These properties are usually represented by predicate. It takes truth value depending upon the variable you use in the sentence or in the expression, or maybe the truthness of this predicate is determined by a single constant letter. If you are using multiple variables for a particular predicate, then you can make a substitution to determine the truthness of the predicate. So it has syntax, semantics, and the predicate logic expression consists of variables with respect to a particular domain. So the main thing is it uses objects, relations, functions of the objects, and quantification, quantifier, like there exist or for all in these quantifiers. We use these quantifiers to represent the number of objects involved in the relationship. For example, let us consider the sentence, the sky is blue. Here the predicate is blue, the subject is sky. So we write this as blue of sky. And when we are considering the relationship between two objects, say John and Robert, let us say John is a friend of Robert. So here the relation is a friend of. So we can write this as friend of John, Robert. So this expresses the same sentence, John is a friend of Robert. Similarly, another sentence, let us consider another example, John likes all kind of food. So here X is food, let us say. Since we say all kind of food, so we should use universal quantifier for all X. For all X, so X can be any food, right? We are saying all kind of food, so X can be any food. So let us say X is dosa, then if X is dosa, then we say that John likes dosa. So we substitute the value for that particular variable X. So depending upon that value of X, the variable X, the predicate result is determined. The result of the predicate is determined. So that's all in this lecture. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.